Alexandria, Virginia. I'm separated from my husband for over a year. I recently got your book, and it shed light on where we could improve our relationship. Is it ever too late to attempt at our marriage again?
I think as long as both of you are still single, neither one of you have remarried, it's not too late. And I think many people who are separated and maybe even divorced, if they read the 5 love languages, they do understand what happened in their marriage and why they drifted apart and why, they weren't able to solve their differences, because neither one of them felt loved. And they lived with an empty love tank for a long time, and all they did was argue with each other, and eventually one of them just said, life's too short to do this, so they move out. But understanding the love languages opens the potential of rebuilding the relationship. If both of you read the book and understood the concept and just maybe started dating again, just getting back together and talking about, the past and how things developed the way they did, you may well find that you can reconnect and build a foundation for going back into the marriage on a whole new level. So yes, I think I would encourage seeking reconciliation. I wrote another book some years ago called Hope for the Separated: Wounded Marriages Can Be Healed. And it's an approach that encourages reconciliation and seeking reconciliation, at the same time being honest to say you can't make somebody reconcile, but you can seek reconciliation. And in that book, I talk about some of the steps to take.
Because I would imagine at times also there's also just personality issues, and maybe it's not just completely the love languages, but maybe you just you don't go together anymore.
Well, no, that's exactly right, Steve.
Yeah.
But if you can speak each other's love language, you create a warm emotional climate. Then you can evaluate the personalities and the other things that you've struggled with through the years. And it's much easier to resolve differences and conflicts if the two of you begin to feel loved by each other.
Caroline Perez, Syracuse, New York. Hi, Steve and Dr. Chapman. Thanks for a great show. Doctor, can your books help a relationship that has had adultery in it?
Well, I think there's no question about it that adultery is a serious fracture in a relationship. I mean, it's deep pain to the one who has been betrayed. Because all of us, there's something about us that cries out for a unique and personal relationship, and that's what we see marriage as being. And when that is violated, it is a tremendous violation of that covenant that we make with each other. But I do think that there is genuine forgiveness and there can be genuine healing. And so bottom line, is there life after adultery? The answer is yes. If there can be genuine repentance and turning away from that other person and breaking that relationship off, and then the two of you begin to get counseling and figure out, what went wrong in your relationship, and there can be genuine forgiveness, then we can open the door to the possibility of restoring that relationship. So yes, there can be life after adultery if, indeed, we're willing to deal with the failure effectively.
Thanks for listening. Let's go with Annette. Annette Rooney in Greensboro, North Carolina. I love your books. Do you have any new ones on the horizon?
Well, the most recent one is the one I alluded to earlier in the program. It's called Love as a Way of Life. And it's really not a marriage book, though it has a lot of implications for marriage. It's a book for marriage or singles. It's talking about, essentially, how to become a loving person. All of us want to be lovers. I mean, if you ask most people, are you a loving person? They'd say, well, I'm trying to be. I want to be.
Right.
And this book takes 7 traits of love and talks about how do you develop these 7 traits into your life so that you become a loving person. This is who you are. This is the way you think. This is the way you approach life. And so if you develop these 7 traits, an encounter with you will be an encounter with love. And I really think this book has tremendous potential for helping people become the person they really want to become, and that is a loving person. So I'm really excited about this book. It was just released maybe 2 months ago, and it's really doing quite well. It's called Love as a Way of Life.
And you can check out information on that at your website and the5lovelanguages.com. And I don't want to talk about too much, so that way I have a reason to have you right back on the show. we could do another hour on that show, because believe me, the feedback is fantastic and people are loving this.